What's up, boys? In this video we're going to find out if it's really necessary to remove the governor completely or if we can just put a zip tie on the spring. So we have to go get gas because we're running on fumes, and then we'll get started. Let's go see if we can get this show on a road. Alright, let me know if y'all like this new camera mount style. Amazon special. So choke, kill switch, and let's go. I take that back. What the hell? It's probably still cold. Choke. Okay, we're doing gas the fun way. Okay, 87 in this bitch. All right, guys, spring is zip tied, as you can see down there. Hopefully the audio is decent. I don't have my mic on. We're fixing to head out right now. Go test out the top speed and 0 to 30. This app said we did 36, 35.5, somewhere around there. So let's just do it again, but with the governor spring zip tied. Let's go ahead and get her fired up. Okay. Alright, let's go. I have resorted to using the GoPro for a speedometer. And if I can get it in the editing, you'll see it. But if not, then we're going to have to just go off of this. It said 7 seconds before when I very first built the bike. So it should be about 7 seconds. So let's go ahead and get started. No idea what the timer will say on the GoPro. I'm going to time it in the editing, so you'll see it on the screen. So let's see what the app says. It might be completely wrong. Let's find out. Zero to 30 and go. Okay. I didn't get a time. Damn. Let's try it again. Ready? Go. Oh shit. It said 7.99. No idea what it's gonna say on the GoPro, but let me do one more just for the GoPro's sake. Here is a better top speed run. Let's go ahead and test it out. Here I'll be able to do it a little more safer. A little more safer. I just got passed by a BMW. down there. We're catching up to cars now. All right, boys, that ride went pretty successful, I'd say, other than getting almost ran over by a BMW, if you know what I mean. But anywho, let's go ahead and get this motor off. I got everything loosened up, bolts are out. Let's go ahead and take this thing to the table, and I'm going to use a cloth because this thing is still on fire. So let's get to it. Okay, there we go. Onto the table. This thing is hot. Oh my God. Okay, since that last audio clip was almost ruined, I found this inside, and if I need to talk, I can just turn the fan off. And when I'm done, that's amazing. All right, you won't hear any more fan noise for the rest of the video. Okay, let's go ahead and take this side cover off. Got all those bolts off, and let's go ahead and pop it loose. I really want to try my best not to destroy this gasket. It is pretty new, so I shouldn't have that much trouble with it. If you have a brand new motor before you put your motor in a bike and you go ahead and do this governor delete, you shouldn't have any problems taking off the side cover without destroying the gasket. So as you can, well, you probably can't see that. As you can see up here, the gasket is sticking to the side of the block instead of the side case, so you can very carefully, you can get a little plastic flathead to help you get it off the block if it's that bad, but in most cases you can just do it by hand. Yeah, this thing is excruciatingly hot, but yeah, I did rip it pretty bad, so I'm gonna go look and see if I have a new one. As you can see, that is not what you want to find when you take that off. So I'll get back with you if I have a new one. Before I do that, I don't want to lose these push rods right here. So let's go ahead and get this cam and gently take it out, and those fall out. This stuff is extremely hot. Okay, get these push rods out and the lifters. One of the rods are still in there, so maybe it'll stay. Worst case scenario, I'll just go ahead and take it out. Let me go look for that gasket. Okay, so this is actually for a 224 motor. Got it from Go Power Sports back when I did that billet rod build. Ended up not needing the gasket because I didn't ruin the other one. So I've had this ever since. It should fit, but I know the 224 does have some block reinforcement somewhere around, and I don't know if it'll fit, so let's find out. So the guide pins, I mean, that looks good enough to me. I mean, there might not be this little lip right here on the bottom, but I'll run it. Yeah, that looks good to me. We'll go ahead and run that. Make sure I clean up the surface. Take out these dowel pins so I don't lose them. Go ahead and clean up this surface, get rid of this old gasket, and we'll be good. Okay, once you got the stupid screw released, we can go ahead and get a flathead and pry this governor arm. Ooh, look, and not scratch this surface right here. Pry that governor arm out. Just like that, and then you'll see a little pin right here. You can take the gas tank off all the way if you really wanted to, but that means you'll have to drain it, and I'm not all about that right now. So there's that little pin. Throw that away and not drop the gas tank. Those little governor arms back there we'll just end up removing, but I'm gonna leave them there for right now because they're not bothering anybody and they will stay like a good arm. Sometimes you can get away with just pushing this down all the way and it'll come out. You have to orientate the rotating assembly in order to be able to push this little rod out. What I like to do is not give a blank about that and just cut it off right here and it'll just slide right out. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. If you can orientate the rotating assembly, you can go ahead and pull it right out, but I'm not doing that because that takes too long. So I'm gonna get a little saw and I'll get back. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are you really gonna cut that right next to a giant gas tank absolutely filled to the brim with gas? And the answer is yes, you are correct. So let's get started. And as you can see, I've made the thing start smoking a little bit, and it is cut. So let's go. Ooh, it smells good. So let's go ahead, trim this up a little bit and put the gas tank back down, and it's not smoking on the gas tank. And I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I made sure to cover the crank assembly so I don't get anything in there. Come on. Oh no, I'm dropping it. There it goes. There's the governor arm removed. Look at that boy, off to give me some oil. Anywho, now that I got this thing off, we got to go ahead and get the governor gear out. Now, this is the worst part. I absolutely hate doing this because you have to get a stupid little clip out of there, and it is the most painful, irritating thing I've ever done in my life. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, I got my flashlight on. Once you get this little plastic piece and a washer off, you'll be able to see the little clip in there. And as you can see, there's a little opening on the top. All you gotta do is get that little clip open and just remove it. Just open it up and take it off. That is the most painstaking, terrible thing in the world. It's just bad. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get it on video, but no promises. I've done it once before and I could only do it ever once on video. So let's try to do it with this camera in the way, and wish me luck. Oh my goodness. I don't even wanna go into how long that took. There it is. That's what you don't want. That's what you wanna take out. So let's go ahead and get pliers. And now, it should just slide out like if nothing happened, you know? You know, I take that back. Got it. There it is. There is the governor gear. Absolutely piece of junk. And it's actually cracked. Holy cow. Yeah, guys, it's freaking cracked. I mean, it's got a little bit of scruff on the front just from me scraping it with the picks, but it's literally cracked. This is why I'll always say the zip tie trick for your governor is only a temporary thing. Don't make it permanent, because this, if it would have had a little longer, gotten more and more cracked and then just exploded. So good thing I caught that in time, and good thing that thing's out of there so the motor is safe. With that being said, that thing is out. Let's go ahead and focus on the oil sensor. Okay, boys, I went ahead and loosened the 8mm bolts holding the oil sensor on. Okay, there's that. And the oil sensor. Oh, we have to cut the wire for the oil sensor, which is this yellow wire, and snip. There we go. Oil sensor is out and going in the trash. There she goes. Now the crankcase is pretty much cleaned up. Got nothing in there that will explode or be destroyed due to the rotating force. And now all we have to do are plug up the oil sensor holes and the governor arm holes. Let's get ahead, and you know what? I never took out the governor washer back there. Let's go ahead and do that before I forget. Because if you leave that washer in there, that's something else that can rotate in there and just destroy everything. So let's get it out. Okay, I had a dirty but simple thought. So here's the oil sensor, right? I cut the oil sensor plug right there. And instead of using the proper bolt, which I will have the sizing on the screen, I'm actually gonna still use this. This is for the governor hole. This is the oil sensor plug hole. Instead of doing that, I want to try something, because I heard that you can just use the end of the oil sensor plug and just cut the wire to where it's poking out. That way you don't have to go and buy bolts and tap thread. You can just plug this in there, tighten it back up, and it's still good. I'm gonna try that. If it doesn't work, I'll end up taking it all apart and I'll put the actual bolt that's supposed to be in there. But for now, let's just try it like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this back. Just spent like 10 minutes getting it out, but that's not that bad. See, there's that. And then let's get the nut that goes on the other side. just tighten that back up. I'll go ahead and tighten that, and it should be good. It's kind of the same from the factory, so we'll try it. And like I said, worst case scenario, I'll just take it apart and then tap it properly like you're supposed to do. But if you want to see how I did that, in the video where we did the governor delete for that bike, I did it the proper way, so I'll have that video linked down below if you want to see that. Anywho, let's go ahead, throw the oil sensor away for real now. Let's go ahead and focus on getting the governor arm plug into the hole. I'll have the size for this bolt on the screen for those of you who want to go out and get it beforehand. I'm pretty sure it's a 1/4 inch bolt by 20. I don't know, don't quote me on that. I'll have it on the screen for those to go and purchase it. So move this to the side. What was that? Okay, we got our bolt. Let's move this arm out of the way. And this bolt has to go into this hole in there kind of loosely and just tighten it somewhat. Then get your impact, and let's do it the lazy way. Let's not do it all the way because we need to add sealant on there. That should be good. Let's go ahead and get some thread sealant and some, I like to use plumbing sealant. I used that last time and I've had good success with it, so I'm gonna go grab that. Yeah, on second thought, we're just gonna tighten it down. I can't find it. There we go. Now that that's tight, and I did not tap the holes, I just went ahead and threaded the thing in there. So it is very loosely, it's not loosely, it is very tightly threaded. And there is the cloth just to make sure we didn't get any metal shards in there. And everything's good up here, so we can go ahead, get this gas tank and install that thing back down. And we can go ahead and close up the side cover too. So it's pretty much done. We're on the downhill. You know, I just looked at this. Let's not forget that. Kind of important. Okay, now for the push rods and stuff, all you gotta do is grab a push rod and push it through the hole of the engine towards the valves. So just put it in there and you'll see it poke out. You see where it's poking out right there? All you gotta do is line it up with the rocker. There we go. I don't know how much of that you saw, but there's that push rod and it's working. So there's that. We can go ahead and get the other one installed. There's that. Okay, make sure that these lines, these dots on the crank and the cam are going to be both lined up, because if it's not, then your engine will not start. So let's push that back in there. Make sure that's lined up, and make sure the holes are also lined up with the cam. As you can see, I'll zoom in on camera. There's a hole there and there's a hole there. They're both aligned. That means timing is proper. The cam and crank timing are proper. So with that all hooked up and back together, now we can get our alignment pins, slide those back in and right there. Then all we gotta get is our gasket and put it side cover back on. But I'm going to clean my side cover and the block. As you can see, there's some spots I need to do. And also on the side cover, I need to get rid of all this gasket and remove any stuck gasket. And as you can see, I got a lot to do. So I'll get that done and I'll get back with you. Okay, now we can go ahead and get the side cover gasket, put that on the alignment pins, and let's go ahead, put that under there so it can be angled up. Then let's get our side cover and put that on. Just like that. There we go. Now we get our bolts and let's tighten it up with the impact. And I think is it 19 foot-pounds or 17 foot-pounds? It's something like that. I'm gonna double check with the internet, and then I want to get the torque wrench out and we'll tighten these things back up. So I'll see you then. While I was getting those side cover bolts torqued down, this showed up in the mail. So y'all will see this next week. A little spoiler for those who care, but let's get back to torquing these bolts down. Okay, now we can move on to the throttle assembly. So since the governor arm, which controls the throttle actually at the carburetor, is going to be completely removed, we have to bend one of these rods, which most likely will be this one, and fit it into one of these holes or make our own hole right here. So we have to pretty much remove all this. So let's go ahead and get this little spring right here that we modified, and let's take that off. Okay, here's that mod that we did to be able to go 47, and as you can see, whenever you try to expand this spring, that zip tie prevents it from expanding. And when this expands, it's whenever the governor arm is trying to push the throttle back because you're getting too many RPMs, and putting that little zip tie prevents it from expanding. And we can go ahead and remove this spring from the actual governor arm itself. So honestly, you can just break these springs. I'm not going to use them anymore unless you have a project around the house you want to save them for. Save them. If not, then just destroy them, because that's what I do. There's the governor arm, and you can trash that. Now what we are going to keep, I can take this spring off of the throttle arm on the carburetor, and now what we are going to keep is this. So this is actually our throttle mechanism itself. So keep that close to the carburetor, close to the block as possible. And we are going to bend this rod and drill a hole onto the throttle arm. So whenever the throttle is pulled, so is the throttle on the carburetor. So as you can see, it'll kind of work like that. I'm gonna go ahead and measure this out. I might cut a hole here, or drill a hole right here, or use this hole, I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Whatever makes the most sense, I will go ahead and use. So I will get back with you here in a few. Okay, I went ahead and got the thing, or the little throttle cable, throttle linkage if you would, assembled and bent properly. So whenever I move this arm, it goes from full throttle to back to idle. And you know it's at idle whenever this little black screw is touching the actual throttle. So whenever you give it throttle, you can go, you know, variable, or you can just full throttle and it hits full throttle. And whenever you let go, it goes all the way back to idle. So all you gotta make sure, just always make sure that's at idle. Can't stress it enough. That's why I do not like doing these carburetors. Every time I do a governor delete, I always end up using like a VM22, like in this thing right there. They're just so much easier, they're safer, you don't have to worry about that stupid little piece of wire holding your throttle together. And if that thing breaks, then your whole bike is gonna have a fun time. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and put some oil in it and throw it back on the bike and put the airbox back on, and we'll go see if that made any difference. Okay, added a kill switch, wired it up, and everything should be good to go. So choke is on, fuel is on. Let's go ahead, give her a pull, see if she'll fire. There we go. It's so quiet. I forget how quiet. Let's make sure the kill switch is working. Okay, so I'm gonna kill it, and it works. Good. Oh, it's good. Okay, that's good. In my pocket. Let's go somewhere where we can actually test the top speed. Okay, let's test the top speed. 47. God damn it. 47. It's the same. It's the same. Look how pretty they are. Both of them together. Anywho, look how fast that was. I literally just got back. And now it's pouring outside. Isn't that great? Gotta love the Texas weather. Alright boys, it is the next day and I just finished editing, but that'll be a wrap to this video. And I did not think that I would actually be able to catch the governor cracking on camera. And it could be just this governor. I mean, you might be lucky and just not have a problem if you just use a zip tie, but I really think it's the proper way to go ahead and take it out completely. We have the big B200 and next to the smaller CT100U. I have a little bit more things I want to do with this bike, like I got hydraulic brakes here, I have VM22, actually it's the other way around. Here's the VM22 right there, and then we got hydraulic brakes I want to install. And I think that's it for this bike. It's pretty much done. I'm not really going to do much to it. I think I'm going to leave the gearing how it is. It's kind of okay. I don't think the VM22 will add too much to the mile an hour. It's pretty good. This one tops out at like 53 to 54-ish. This one, right as it sits with this factory carburetor and factory exhaust, does 47. So kind of close. This is a 224 motor with the what do you call it? It's got a VM22, a header pipe, and I put the factory pool cover back on it from the old 196. It just looks better in my opinion. But the 212 will definitely get kind of the same treatment. And stay tuned for next week where we review that and finishing up the video on that. It's kind of surprising me. So stay tuned for next week. Y'all definitely see it. And I have some bloopers at the end of this video, so hope you enjoyed those. But for now, that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. But you have to rotate the rotating. Oh my god! You have to put the rotating in. Oh my god! Everything's so oily. There we go. Oh come on! Literally had it. There we go. Well, I did it again. I did it again.